This is We All Be, news-free Dixie for the 21st century. See how it works? Somewhere. Can you dig it?
And so just want you to know. Man, I looked at that smile on your face just now. And the first time I ever wished I was a photographer to take that picture and let the world see that honesty and that integrity. And know some of the things I know, how you drive all over the country to chase us down. Chase us down. Okay? We move so fast. I don't know if you're married, I don't know if you're a family, I don't know if you're a wife. Okay? But when we get on here, we bosom friends. Anytime I see you, I stop whatever I'm doing. Hey, my man, how are you? Hey. Hey, man, well, that's, I owe that to you. It's an obligation that you have. How old are you?
Oh, 36.
So you don't have the right to do what 36 people do. You don't have the right to go to the dance or go to the party. You don't have a right to take that trip to Europe when I might need that plane fare to fly somebody else to feed my people that love me. Mm-hmm. You feed them. Oh, it's one thing being hungry from food. Right. There's another thing being hungry for information.
That's right.
And that's you the feeder. You got to be the farmer. You got to grow the crop. Huh? You got to till the grain. And at nighttime, when you hear something that sounds like water, you got to go and see if the crop's going to be flooded. That's your job, man.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that Django review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace.
A lot of people don't know this, but if you have the YouTube
Guess who's back? Back again. This is Brother Ron. Tell a friend. This is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I just had to come back. Welcome, everybody. Welcome for joining us tonight. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with us. We do a little bit here. Let me shine up some stuff. Ta-da! I think I look a little bit better, don't I? I look a little bit better, a little bit less fuzzy. Thank y'all. But there's a lot to talk about, but I want to get on here. There's so much going on. I want to thank everybody, We All Be Tribe, for hanging out in the chats. It's been a minute. Thank you, Dunny, for hanging out. Hey, it's greater later, man. It's greater later. So you're going to thank yourself for hanging out tonight. It's a lot to talk about. Thank you, Brother Roy Williams. Peace and blessings to you as well. Thank you. Oh, dog in the house. Okay. Hey, Sister Luna. It's been a long time. Thank you for hanging out, tuning out to tune in to get in where you fit in with us tonight. It's gonna be an interesting one tonight. Yes, all love. We all be in it to win it. We all be in it to win it. It's News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Oh, Darian, Queen Leo in his house. Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse. I'm the feeder, but I'm also the cleaner. And I'm going to talk about the dual role of being the feeder and the cleaner tonight. People say, well, Brother Ron, where you been? I've been around the world, but not really. I've been around the world in my head. I'm a legend in my mind. You know, this is okay. Mutual respect society here. Ain't no need to apologize. It's instant replay. As long as they don't take nothing down, I make sure I back up my recordings as much as I can. I got backups on backups on backups on backups on backups. So, you see how it works. I don't trust one platform or the other. So, yeah, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for tuning out, to tune in, to get in where you fit in. What's up? What's up? Jonathan, thank you for hanging out. Mr. Hamilton. Yeah, it's just started. Better be started something. Got to be started something. Got to be started something. Yeah, 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 yeah. See how it works. So I think I covered everybody for the most part. Okay. Well, Ja Morant. Let me talk about the Ja Morant. Shorty want to be a thug. Shorty want to be a thug. So he want to be. So he gonna be. But he ain't gonna be. He got his inaugural wake-up call. So it seems like the Glendale, Colorado police won't be charging Ja Morant, superstar player for the NBA's Memphis Grizzlies, will not be facing any criminal charges from the police. That's great news. So hopefully he'll get back on the court pretty soon. Like the Grizzlies suspended him for 2 games. It's not the NBA. The league has not suspended Ja Morant. The Memphis Grizzlies organization, the basketball team he plays for in the National Basketball Association, put him on a staycation, vacation, whatever. Hopefully he'll be back soon. That he learned his lesson. Memphis has slipped to 3rd place in the West. Ja infamously said everything's fine in the West. He said that last year, same season, but last year. I think he said it, or maybe he said it earlier this year during the season, that everything's fine in the West. They were only worried about the Boston Celtics. So he put a big target on the Grizzlies' back. Under pressure. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Maybe he couldn't handle it. I mean, maybe Josh stressed out. Well, hopefully he's learned his lesson. All is forgiven, y'all. Just don't try to be Billy Law, Billy Badass. You don't need all that, right now. You just need to be yourself. To thy own self be true. Don't worry about trying to, I'm not gonna get on to that right now. But also, we talked about Chris Rock special. If you haven't seen it, Selective Outrage, check it out. But also, I want to say this about Colorado. I think it's interesting because people don't know. This upcoming summer will mark the 20th anniversary of Kobe Bean Bryant getting in trouble in Colorado. He met a girl who had the whole world in her pants. She had the whole world in her pants. She had more samples than the United Nations gathering down there. But Kobe almost went from that purple and gold to those to that orange, the county blues in Colorado. I mean, it's not funny, but luckily he avoided that. Remember Kobe got in trouble in Colorado. But yet Deion Sanders think it's better than Jackson, Mississippi. Coach Prime feels safer in Colorado than he does in Jackson, Mississippi. But Kobe Bryant, God bless the dead, he almost lost it all. He almost lost it all in Colorado. Luckily, Ja avoided a bullet. I can remember when the Denver Broncos lost a player in Colorado around like at the end of 2006, beginning of 2007. He was killed in the drive-by. You know, the wide receiver, black wide receiver, killed in the drive-by in Colorado. Let me see if I can look that up. Demarius Thomas, that's his name. No, that's not him. No, that's the wrong one. That wasn't him. I'm thinking about, because this happened like in 2006 or 2007. Let me see. It was 2006. I'm trying to look at this name of that Denver Broncos player. Anybody remember that? Let me see, man. And I'm making up news now. Did that happen? 2000. Yeah, Darren Williams, Darren DeMarcus Williams. Anybody remember that? The brother got killed in Denver back on New Year's of 2007. I think that's him. Yeah, okay. Darren DeMarcus Williams, sunrise September 21st, 1982, sunset January 1st, 2007, was an American football player for the Denver Broncos of the National Football League. After attending high school in Fort Worth, Texas, Williams played football at Oklahoma State University, was a second-round draft pick by the Broncos in 2005. Williams was killed in a drive-by shooting the day after he finished his second season with the Broncos. Yeah, y'all remember that? You just 24. So why do black folks think they safe in Colorado, or they're safer in Colorado than they are in Jackson, Mississippi? I'm just saying. We're going to talk about a couple of things tonight. Black folks, there's no country for black people. There is no country for black people. The question needs to be raised in light of what happened in Mexico. Should black Americans boycott going to Mexico? Going to Mexico? Because what people don't understand, they think, look, Shanquilla Robinson from Charlotte, North Carolina. You know, that sister was tragically killed by her frenemies, allegedly, down in Mexico on vacation last fall. They have yet to make an arrest. Now, all that, you know, I'm thinking about Chris Rock, the selective outrage, all that anger that black folks showed on social media, on black folks' Twitter, all these demands y'all was making. Nobody respects black people. There is no country for black folk. So anybody has yet to be arrested in the peculiar death of Shanquilla. Look, I can't these names, man, but forgive me. Y'all know I'm talking about Roosevelt. Shanquilla Robinson, 25-year-old chocolate drop beauty from Charlotte, North Carolina, who was killed. They said it was alcohol poisoning. That what they told her people. Then come to find out, her neck and back was broken. So she was murdered, and they call it in Mexico, they call it femicide when a female is killed. But there has been no arrest. That happened in fall. Now we're about to be in spring of 2023. That was fall of 2022. It was October of 2022. Or right before, like it was like right before Thanksgiving, somewhere around there. Now we're coming into the spring of 2023. There has been no arrest. And guess who's calling for an arrest? Ben Crump. I told y'all Crump is the preeminent lawyer. He is what Johnny Cochran was back in the 90s for Black America. This is Ben Crump. Y'all can hate it or love it, but Ben Crump is that dude. Y'all keep on saying Ben Crump is he's the bag man. And he also the beg man. He begging them to do something about holding the persons or peoples accountable for killing Shanquilla Robinson. All that stuff y'all did last year. Even Kyrie Irving gave 65,000 plus to her GoFundMe, and yet nobody respects black folk. And that happened in Mexico. Then you had the 4 American tourists. Now it's funny how the media, they're 4 Americans now. They're not black Americans, they're 4 Americans, right? They took a wrong turn somewhere in Mexico in the border town, and they got shot up, whatever. 2 out of the 4 people died. 1 black man, 1 black woman survived. Allegedly all childhood friends. They was on a medical tour. Rumor has it, I don't know, allegedly they were assisting the sister in either getting a tummy tuck or a Brazilian butt lift, whatever, the BBL or a tummy tuck. She was down there for some type of cosmetic surgery, allegedly, but was mistaken by a Mexican cartel for, I guess, some Haitians or something. I don't know. That whole thing sounds funny bunny. But 2 out of the 4 people are dead. What happened? Right? We don't know. And you got to think about this. See, this is the thing. This is nothing new, right? Because we are in the age of whatever this is, Aquarius, of Pisces. Everything that's been hidden is coming forth now. They're hiding things in plain view. The problem is people have not developed their third eye or discernment, or you got cataract over your third eye. So they're showing you everything. Y'all keep on thinking, oh, they shot down spy balloons. There was no spy balloons they shot down. Matter of fact, think about how everything has been weird since March of 2020. Now, it's been 3 years since the pandemic, right? It's crazy how everything is going real fast, right? People say we get older, time flying. It has nothing to do with that. Because they're saying that the earth is actually spinning faster on its axis. That the earth is moving fast, everything. So look up this thing called CERN. Look up CERN. That's CERN. Y'all, some of y'all know about HARP, HAARP, but look up CERN. Is it HARP, HARP? One thing about AARP. I don't know. Like they say, you start getting 50 or whatever. They start saying, nah, this American retirement person. Nobody ain't gonna be retired no more. You're gonna be working till the day you die. You're gonna be a wage slave. You got folks in their 70s doing Uber deliveries. Social Security will not be existing if you. It is like there's no gold in Fort Knox. It's been like that for a minute, from my understanding, allegedly. But before I get too deep in this rabbit hole, but the Mexico thing is interesting because you had death of prominent black folk in Mexico under questionable circumstances. Who can forget Coretta Scott King, the matriarch of the King family, the widow, the legacy bearer of Dr. Martin Luther King's or Michael King's legacy. Michael King Jr., y'all know Michael? Because we know him as Martin, but family still call him Mike or Michael. He was known as Michael. Y'all know Dr. King's name was Michael, right? But she died in Mexico trying to get an alleged medical procedure. Y'all remember that? And at that point, Coretta was very health conscious. Like she was she ate raw foods. Towards the end, she was eating raw food. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. So let me look that up. How did Coretta die? Cause of death. Well, I love these smartphones. But I hope y'all can understand the words that come out of Brother Heard's mouth. Says she died of ovarian cancer, right? She was 78. The primary cause of death was insufficient cardiorespiratory, which simply means her heart and breathing start. Everybody dies when their heart stops, right? So I guess everybody's died from a cardiac arrest. When your heart stops beating, that means you're dead unless you're Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney doesn't have a heart. He literally does. He's really Tin Man. He doesn't have a heart. It's like interesting, like, Donald Rumsfeld dead, Dick Cheney don't have a heart, he's still alive. And how is Henry Kissinger still around? That is the question. But anyway, it's none of my concern. I'm just here to make you think.
Oh yeah, and Malcolm X's son too. Yeah, I know it happened in May of 2013. Malcolm X's son, Malcolm Shabazz, was killed under questionable circumstances as well. So there's no country for black folk. There's no country for black folk. We have no place we could go where we're safe as a people. If you look at American history, like when America would lynch foreigners like Italians and Chinese back in the day, they had to pay reparations or restitution to their country of origin. When black folks get killed in America, who do they compensate? They sure don't want to give us any type of reparation. That's why Malcolm was necessary, because Malcolm was trying to get us that connect, that backup from Africa, from the diaspora. He was trying to address our grievances before the United Nations, before they cut him down. He allegedly contacted the State Department before they cut him down. Now, Ben Crump, once again, he's the preeminent lawyer. He is the GOAT lawyer. There is no debate about who's the greatest lawyer working today. Willie Gary who? Y'all don't even know who Willie Gary is. Y'all don't even know what Automatics is. But y'all know about Ben Crump. So he got to be the GOAT, right? Because all they saying is Ben Crump. Everybody said, get Crump, get Crump, get Crunk, get Crump, get Crump with Crump, get Crump with Crump, get Crunk with Crump. Okay, so Ben Crump is the guy. He even got a school name after him at a university. So he's suing for $100 million on who killed Malcolm X. And people, y'all should know who killed Malcolm X. It wasn't y'all said Nation of Islam or whatever. No, it was the people that you don't mind paying taxes to. You worry about what Dr. Umar Johnson is doing with those donations, but you're not worried about what they're doing with your tax dollars. I think black folks are crazy. I know we're crazy. Y'all worry about Dr. Umar Johnson. Most of black folks didn't give Dr. Umar Johnson no money, but yet you worry about what he's doing with the money. You don't question what the Federal Reserve do with your money. You don't question what the U.S. military industry complex does with your money. You do not question what the IRS does with your money. No question, but y'all worry about Dr. Umar Johnson. That's why they laugh at us. That's why nobody's been arrested for the murder of Shanquilla Robinson. Because here are we sound. Hey, Dr. Umar Johnson, you the problem. He not a problem to me. But y'all said, well, it's like y'all would ask, we type people who petition the FBI to investigate the death of Dr. King. Man, let's get the FBI. let's petition the FBI to find out who killed Dr. King. Like you see the fox in the hen house, and you see some eggs and hens are missing, and you ask the fox, hey, fox, have you seen who took the hens and the eggs? And feathers and fly out the mouth. We don't know. We want to know who did it. Man, y'all scared to go Mississippi, but y'all ain't scared to go to Mexico. Y'all scared of Mississippi and Arkansas, but y'all ain't scared of Mexico. Make that make sense, folks. All this talk of black and brown unity, where is the love? Where is the love you say you give to me? Do. Where is the love? What Dr. John Henry Clark said one time, if you look into that mirror and whatever image or person staring back at you, you cannot recognize, then you have no friends. If a friendly face ain't staring back at you from your reflection in that mirror, you have no friends. All this talk of alliances and friendships, we have none. And why should we have a friend if we can't be a friend to ourselves? Y'all still care about celebrities. It's weird with the NAACP, with the Image Awards. Who are winning these Image Awards? The NAACP wasn't that long ago, several decades ago, when the NAACP made it their mission to destroy Stephen Fetch. The guy who played Stephen Fetch, they destroyed his career. But yet Eric Monty, the true creator of Good Times and the Jeffersons, and the guy who came up for what would be known as the Cosby Show, the guy who wrote a great cult classic film called Cooley High that's based on his life story growing up in the Cabrini Green projects of Chicago. That Eric Monty, who took it upon himself to sue Norman Lear and Hollywood for trying to undermine, destroy the image of black people, the black family, the black man, the black woman and child. But yet he could find nobody, not even Reverend Jesse, not even Message Jesse would come to his aid. He tried to warn everybody about what Hollywood agenda was when it relates to the image of black folk. Even his lawyer allegedly betrayed his trust. He couldn't find a lawyer to represent the entire country except for one, and they all in on it. The fix is in. Like, he got $1 million, I believe, from his lawsuit, but ended up losing it. Man spent time on Skid Row, had all type of health issues. It's amazing he's still around. From my understanding, Eric Monty is still around. I interviewed Eric Monty some years ago. It's somewhere in the We All Be TV archives that haven't been removed. I think he still got up there, but I interviewed Eric about 10 years ago, perhaps. But anyway, before I get too deep in this, I just like, there's no country for black folk, right? We don't still know how really what happened to Malcolm Shabazz, who's responsible. We know, but we don't know. Even with Coretta, what happened to her in Mexico, Dr. King's widow, we don't really know. We've been told some stuff. And that's it. And we let stuff go. Even with Shanquella Robinson, we still don't know what happened. And currently what happened last week with the 4 Americans, really 4 black folks, because we have no country. There's no country for black folks. Because even when your government don't do anything to acknowledge your grievances, that means you're on your own. You're on your own. But before I let me take a little break. I want to take a segue. It is International Women's Day. This whole month is Women's History Month. And I want to acknowledge a special lady, a young lady, and a very exciting girl. Give a quick shout out, Sister Olivia Shark, on here on We All Be, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Her birthday is today. She's the big 2-5. Yay, yay. So without delay, we'll get to that. And we'll come back with more on what I'm talking about, because I want to keep this under 2 hours. Because I got to go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. These ain't robbing, folks. That's a good thing. That's a blessing. I'm not robbing, so I'm legit. Happy 2520 live. Happy 252 you live. Happy 25 sister Olivia Shark. Because you're a shining star, no matter who you are. Happy 25 to you. Okay, happy birthday, Sister Olivia, La Dog. All right, great job. And let's get back to what we're talking about. So there is no country for black folks. So what do? Do we boycott? The fact that we don't have really leadership and representative positions that represent the interests of black Americans, we don't. Where's the Congressional Black Caucus on this situation with black folks getting their lives under attack in Mexico. Where is Sheila Jackson Lee and Al Green? Not the right Reverend Al Green, but the one down in Houston, Texas, whatever yet. Where are the Black Caucus people to talk about this as relates to Black folks being terrorized in Mexico? You know, who speaks on behalf of the Negro in any type of official capacity? Because this question needs to be raised: should Black Americans continue to go to Mexico at this time? There's too many things that have been happening to Black Americans, both as everyday Black folks as well as renowned and, if not, you know, renowned, well-known, infamous, like, you know, Malcolm X's grandson. He was trying to follow in his grandfather's footsteps. You know, they took him out of here at 28. He allegedly went down there because he thought he had friends who was from there that he was trying to help, allegedly. But they helped him to an early grave. But you know what was interesting, same year that he died, because we talked about this on our show with Baba Dick Gregory. You know, that Lifetime movie Betty and Coretta came out. Angela Bassett played Coretta Scott King. Mary J. Blige played Betty Shabazz, the widow of Malcolm X. In that Lifetime movie, they really try to put the blame of Malcolm's death squarely on the shoulders of Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm's protege, the one who succeeded Malcolm at Temple No. 7 up in New York. They try to put it on him. And then what they also did in that movie was to put more spotlight on Malcolm Shabazz, the grandson of Malcolm and Betty. Like, allegedly, he was the one that set the fire at his grandma's place of residence. But there's other information that may be contrary to what we think is the official story. And Dick Gregory talked about this on the We All Be TV platform. And Brother Malcolm Shabazz became hip to it because allegedly he was denied entry to a film festival over in Iran. I don't know what's true, because, like, I'm gonna tell y'all something. You start getting involved in these cases with these people who are connected to certain bloodlines, a lot of things get really fuzzy really fast. You don't know what, I mean, you know, I meet all types of interesting people in my so-called line of work. And I be asking people, are you agents? And they laugh, we laugh about it. But seriously, are you an agent? I don't know. I think I could be a targeted individual. I'm just so silly. I don't know. It doesn't, I'm to a point now where I'm able to block certain things. I mean, not block them online, like technology, something for me. I kind of figure now that I know that certain things come with the territory. So I don't know if people been sent to trip me up or to get me second guessing myself, but it's quite the opposite. But with those type of people, even you look at prominent white families like the Kennedys, they're a great example. They just don't kill, they just don't target one individual. They will target the whole bloodline. And they will keep on targeting the bloodline for generations. It's not by coincidence that there's no prominent Black men that have risen since the death of Malcolm X. Even Brother Malcolm had nothing but daughters. He had 6 daughters. He had 2 on the way in his wife's womb, and they all saw him assassinated at the Ottoman. They created trauma right there. That was trauma to the twins in the womb. It's like with Fred Hampton Jr., the way he talking and stuff like that. They got to be trauma from the womb when he's in his mama's belly next to his father while they were asleep in their apartment on the west side of Chicago. For him to be in the womb of his mom, to hear the feds, the Chicago police shooting into the apartment, to feel his mama's trauma, it manifested in him. And luckily he's still around because they tried to get Fred Hampton Jr. You know, he spent some time in prison as well too. They'll try to take him out. So they just don't target you, they'll target your seeds. Look at Kobe. They just didn't get Kobe. They got his daughter, the one that will really be the torchbearer for his legacy. See, they just don't kill you, they kill the legacies. Look at the King family. They've been targeted. There's an article that came out back in the 90s, how they talk about how the King family was targeted for several generations. Like, it started with Dr. King's maternal grandfather, who was the lead pastor at Ebenezer at one point. So they knew who King was based on his bloodline. Even with Fred Hampton Sr., the government started surveilling him at 14. He only lived to be 21, so I mean, they know who they target. But with Malcolm, it's interesting. There is no male heir, only outside of his grandson, who they took out of here 10 years ago this May. I can't believe it'd be 10 years ago. But that happened outside the country, Mexico. Same thing with Coretta Scott King, Mexico. Same thing with Shaquilla Robinson, with these 4 people, 2 coming back home, but 2 coming back home in the body bags, right? So should Black folks be patronizing Mexico? Because if something happened to us over there, you are guaranteed one thing: you won't be getting any justice. Your family won't be getting any justice or peace of mind. Just us in pieces. You understand? Or overstand. So there's something to consider. And I don't know anybody else is talking about this idea: should Black folks boycott Mexico? I think we should. We have no friends. What's interesting is alternative history. A guy that I need to get on this show. See, what's his name? He is brilliant. Let me see if I can look him up. I interviewed him before on the spot. Oh yeah. Y'all need to get hip to Professor Gerald Horne. Horne with an E at the end, Horne. Professor Gerald Horne. He's amazing. You think I'm a walking encyclopedia? All you sapiosexuals and sapiophiles, get hip to Gerald Horne. That brother is amazing. Amazing. Now, he's prolific. He wrote a whole bunch of books. And he's a professor down in Houston, Texas. He's from St. Louis, Missouri, originally. But he's brilliant, brother. And he was telling me, Jack Johnson, the heavyweight champion Jack Johnson, he was a spy, allegedly. He was a spy for somebody, Jack Johnson. He had to leave the country, right? Because of the Mann Act. Because he loved the other white meat, white girls. White girls. Okay. But he was married to a sister at one point, Mary Austin. I think he was married to 2 sisters, or he loved 2 sisters before he started getting with those white girls. But anyway, he left the country, right? He left the country on that BS Mann Act crap. And so he traveled around, allegedly, according to Professor Horne, Jack Johnson was going to form an alliance with Pancho Villa. Pancho, revolutionary. Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa and Jack Johnson supposed to have combined forces for a revolution for the darker peoples of the world. Now, this is what Gerald Horne said. Gerald Horne is a brilliant outside the box thinker. Just check out Gerald Horne, his books and his interviews. I need to bring him on here. And we gave him a We All Be Artivist Lifetime Achievement Award back in 2015. But he told me, Jack Johnson supposed to be hooked with a Pancho Villa to start a revolution to free the colored people in the Western world. I don't know. It sounds it'd be one hell of a movie. Because they did do a movie about Pancho Villa that came out on the HBO years ago. It was good. Antonio Banderas. God damn it. Antonio Banderas. He played Pancho Villa. And it supposed to be based on a true story. It supposed to be some Hollywood crew. Supposed to be filming Pancho Villa, try to promote him as a revolutionary. But Woodrow Wilson, he did send some Buffalo soldiers after Pancho Villa. When Pancho Villa people invaded into the Southwest, allegedly got in some trouble with authorities, maybe kidnapped, maybe killed some white folks. I think Woodrow Wilson sent some black soldiers, Buffalo soldiers down there, led by Black Jack John Pershing, a white man who was known as the military leader for the American Expeditionary Forces during World War One. Even though he was familiar with working with black soldiers, they did not want any black soldiers to be a part of the American Expeditionary Forces. You know the story about the French end up adopting some of the black soldiers. You got the Harlem Hellfighters, the 369th Regiment Infantry Regiment. I wrote a book about a guy named James Reese Europe, jazz pioneer who brought jazz to Europe. Last name was Europe, but he brought that jazz sound to Europe. So it's a lot of history back, but it'd be interesting if that's true. Even if it ain't true, because y'all seen Wakanda, right? Did they not have that Latino Aquaman hook up with Wakanda? So is that based on Jack Johnson supposed to be getting with Pancho Villa? Underlay. Then, you go back even, I went to the Alamo last summer in San Antonio, Alamo. The Alamo is real small. It's no bigger than a Popeye's chicken box. It seems like it's really small. It's funny how these big events in history happen in very small and intimate spaces and places. Like you think these places be real big, they're real small. I remember when I went to Ferguson, Missouri, and to see the street where Mike Brown was killed on, you could hardly call it a street. It was weird. Or going down to Money, Mississippi, outside of Greenwood, Mississippi, and see the remnants of the Bryan store and stuff like that. And the street, like if you go like maybe 60 miles per hour, you'll miss it. Is that easy to miss that Bryan store where history forever changed for America? But was that Wakanda movie based on the thing that Jack Johnson supposed to begin with Pancho Villa? But I mentioned the Alamo because the reason why white folks wanted Texas was so they could spread slavery. White folks wanted to own black folks. That's why they came to Texas. It wasn't just for freedom for them. It's for them to be able to enslave black people. And Mexico was against slavery. And Santa Ana and them didn't want no slaves. So people don't even know the history about the Alamo. And I grew up as a fan of David Crockett. I loved David Crockett when I was growing up. I used to read biographies from my elementary school on David Crockett. He was a complex man. He didn't think that Andrew Jackson should have removed the Indians through the Trail of Tears, but he didn't mind moving to Texas and own him some slaves. So, whatever. American heroes are complex like that. But anyway, yeah, Santa Ana, Mexico, they didn't want to enslave black people allegedly. But white folks moved to Texas. The Republic of Texas wanted their slaves. As a matter of fact, it's interest we celebrate Juneteenth. Slavery was not ended on Juneteenth. Matter of fact, it was a great article that came out in the Washington Post not too long ago. I want to say like 1 or 2 years ago, maybe, about how when they tried to free the slaves in Texas, a lot of the white slave owners massacred their own property. We had white slave owners killing thousands of black slaves, refusing to emancipate them. And not only that, they went deep into South America to keep their slaves. You got holidays in Brazil where there's a whole bunch of black folks. There's a whole bunch of black folks in Brazil. They got a celebration they do that's the anti-Juneteenth. We have the descendants of the slave owners celebrating the fact that their ancestors or sores came down to South America, to Brazil, to preserve their slave owning ways. So they celebrate that. That's a big celebration down in Brazil. Look it up. Take a look. It's all online. I tell no lies. At least I try not to tell no lies. Okay? But look that stuff up. That's real talk. Matter of fact, you have places where black folks didn't know slavery ended at all. I met a runaway slave. I actually met a runaway slave when I went to the homegoing service of Chokwe Lumumba, who was the revolutionary mayor of Jackson, Mississippi. I believe his son is mayor now. I don't know. I don't keep up with politics or politics. But I went to his funeral to pay respect to Chokwe Lumumba, who was a revolutionary from Detroit. At one time, he was Tupac's lawyer back in the day, Tupac Amaru Shakur. But I went to his funeral and I met a black man who ran away from a plantation where his family lived on for generations. When he was about 17 years old, it was the late 1940s or early 50s. I wish I had recorded him. My feet was hurting. Man, I had on some brand new Stacey Adams. And you go to these black dignitary funerals, I had no idea I'd be on my feet for 10 plus hours straight. In these new Stacey Adams, my feet were so sore, man. And I covered the funeral myself. I recorded some things, whatever. I tried. But he was talking about how he escaped from the plantation. This is in Mississippi back in the late 40s, early 50s. And he said he had older siblings that never wanted to leave. And he would come back and visit at night, whatever. But he ended up leaving. It was good for him to leave because he ended up starting his own family, had started his own carpentry business, raised his kids. They became professionals. One was a nurse. One worked in TV production at a major network. I wish I recorded. I didn't. But it was like amazing to hear him talk. I said, well, so what happened to your sibling? He said, eventually they had to leave the plantation, not because they wanted to leave the plantation, but because the owners of the plantation died or whatever, or they sold it off. So they were forced to leave. But then I said, how you know that you were not supposed to be a slave? Because you had this same spirit of a Harriet Tubman and a Frederick Douglass. He knew that he ain't supposed to be what they said he was supposed to be. See how it works? I mean, that's universal soul God, you know, and moves in mysterious ways, especially when you start moving with your legs. Like what Frederick Douglass said, I prayed for 20 years and nothing happened until I started praying with my legs. Run away. Run away, love. Run away, love. So, should black folks boycott Mexico? Let's look at the responses. Survey says, thank you, Sister Girl. Okay, Dunny, but dudes, I mean, San Antonio is like Mexico. I've been to San Antonio. It was like, where the black folk at? If people say it's on, I think all the black folks eat on the east side or the west side. I ain't how to see no black folk. I thought a lot of Mexico down there, Mexican. And man, people will recognize. Man, we asked somebody to go, what's the best Tex-Mex place to go to? And I think it was a Mexican or whatever. They recommend a horrible Tex-Mex place. We'd be better eating Taco Bell. But they actually have some good places to eat in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. Let me see. Y'all talking about a lot of stuff in here. I don't know what's going on. Said, gotta invest in Dr. Show. Well, I got some specially made, inserts anyway. So they've been working for me pretty well. I've been having them over a year. Yeah, but black folks have no friends. But let me move to another story. This is a story I thought should have got more traction. I think I'm making a good time. I think I'm hitting everything I need to hit. This story right here. I want to talk about this right here. I'm surprised this hasn't picked up more. This happened over a year. This happened, it'll be 2 years ago, actually, this April. Let me see. I'm going to get a good picture. Anybody recognize this brother right here? It's an interesting brother right here, man. I'm going to tell y'all a little story. See, Black history is better or stranger than science fiction or any Hollywood movie. This guy's life story deserves a movie or a TV series. His name, look up his name, was Barney Dale Harris. In North Carolina, folks in the house, y'all know about this story, Barney Dale Harris? Let's talk about Barney. There's something about Mr. Barney. He was a unique man. And like his life story, like if you are a fan of Snowfall and Breaking Bad, The Wire, empire, power. This dude life is like what? Okay, what the what? So let me read an article about him, and we'll talk a little bit more about this story and why you should know about this guy. I'm surprised that so-called new black media did not pick up on Mr. Bernie Dale Harris. He's a righteous ancestor now. But let's talk about him. Okay. Read this from NBC News. Teacher killed in old Western shootout after trying to rob Mexican drug cartel, authorities say. Okay, Bernie Dale Harris taught Spanish and coached basketball and track at the Union Academy Charter School in North Carolina. Stories by Wilson Wong. It's written April 15th, 2021. So this happened almost 2 years ago. A teacher and basketball coach at a North Carolina school was killed in a shooting after trying to rob the home of a Mexican drug cartel member, authorities said Wednesday. Barney Dale Harris and his brother-in-law, Stephen Alexander Stewart Jr., were accused of robbing an alleged stash house last Thursday, belonging to a member of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, one of the world's most powerful drug trafficking organizations. Alamance County Sheriff Terry Johnson said at a news conference. Investigators determined Harris and Stewart broke into the mobile home of Alonzo Beltran and waited for him to come back, according to the sheriff. When the man returned home, a shooting broke out that resulted in the deaths of Harris and Lara, Johnson said. Deputies responded around 1 a.m. to multiple calls of gunfire at the residence in the 1000 block of White Road and Green Level, about 30 miles northwest of Greensboro, according to the sheriff's office. Officers found Harris, who was pronounced dead at the scene, and Laura, who was taken to a hospital where he later died from his injuries, authorities say. Okay. It was almost like an old Western shootout, Johnson said. No other injuries were reported, but 3 trailers were also struck by bullets. Harris, wearing a bulletproof vest, gloves, and a mask, was shot multiple times, according to the sheriff. Laura, whose hands and feet were bound, was shot twice in the back of the head. During the investigation, deputies seized 5 firearms, around $7,000 in cash, and 1.2 kilograms of cocaine, authorities said. Stewart, 32, was arrested Sunday in connection with the shooting after a search of his home in Waysboro turned up related objects tied to the crime scene, Johnson said. He was charged with the first-degree murder, first-degree burglary, and possession of firearm by a felon in connection with the shooting, according to authorities. He's being held in the Alamance County Jail without bond. Efforts to reach Stewart by phone Thursday were unsuccessful. It was unclear if he had an attorney. The Federal Drug Enforcement Administration and the State Bureau of Investigation are assisting with the investigation. Authorities are also searching for Juan Daniel Selena Lara on a cocaine trafficking charge. Harris, 40, taught Spanish and coached basketball and track at the Union Academy Charter School in Monroe, the school's website said, according to the NBC affiliate WRAL. The UA community is mourning the unexpected loss of teacher and coach Barney Harris, the school said on Facebook on Saturday, according to the station. UA students, staff, and families are asked to wear UA spirit wear on Monday, April 12th, to celebrate the life of Coach Barney Harris, whose motto, all love and no fear, will be forever a part of who we are as a school. As of Thursday, the Facebook post has since been removed, and his name no longer appeared on the school's website. The Union Academy Charter School did not immediately respond to a request for coming Thursday. Now, this is an article I read. This is from April 15th, 2021. And I ain't hear about no other black media really talking about this amazing story. This is the real Walter White meets Omar from The Wire. This is Walter White from Breaking Bad meets Omar from The Wire. And this is Snowfall. This is everything, because this guy probably been robbing cartel for a while. This ain't his first trip to the rodeo show, but now this is his last one at the age of 40. And he was a family man, so I don't know if his wife knew that he was moonlighting as a drug cartel robber. I don't know, but I think he was a family man with children, wife and kids. And you see, he got his brother-in-law in trouble, but y'all could probably do a quick Google search to get an update on the story. But this is wild. And I remember hearing about this almost 2 years ago. I said, this is amazing. Amazing. So Barney Dale Harris, he's like a folk hero to me. He's like an outlaw. He's like a folk outlaw. He's like, this should be a movie. This is the real deal. Okay? It just fascinates me. Show another picture of this brother, then we'll move on. But I think I don't know if I can make this into like a little short or reel or whatever, but that story, it's so many stories I come across, man. And I be hoping somebody will share these things, because I be so tired. I'm out here by myself, man. People like, oh, Brother Ron, we love you. I'm like, man, I'm working stiff. But this is another picture of the brother. Who y'all think should play him in a movie or TV show? Who would be a good play? Who could play this guy, bring his story to life in a TV show or movie? Who y'all think? I don't know, but his story is amazing. Yep. So anyway, I guess that's it for that. But shout out to him. May his story never be forgotten, because like they actually did a story in the Washington Post about what happened. But school teacher by day, beloved track coach, school teacher, basketball coach by day, robber of drug dealers by night. 50 Cent the rapper, he got his name from actual guy who went by 50 Cent, or 50 Cents back in the day. He was known for robbing rappers and drug dealers. So I didn't, would that be, I don't know what his name was when he was doing what he was doing, but Barney Dale Harris, fascinating story, man. But anyway, I digress. But let me see. What else? What else? Oh, yeah. I think I'll talk about this next. Yeah, Mike K. Williams, he was a fantastic artist. Yeah, I said it right. Yeah, but he actually was Michael K. Williams when he was robbing on drug dealers in real life. He actually was the real Omar, but he wasn't. He was the hetero. He was the straight version of Omar, and he was the real deal. And he was very popular, but who knew? No, that's not a call-in number. That's my, you want to pay me some money number. Call-ins may be coming in sometime in the near future. But let me move on. I'm trying to keep this flow on, flow. See something. We have now these tabs open. Trying to figure out what's the right tab to open. Okay, I think I got the right one. I think I do. I don't know. Now the pictures are showing up. I'm just trying to get the right tab. All right, that's me. That's me. It's me cleaning up toilet. So I didn't want to talk about that. And then we move on to close it out with Karen Parsons, the original OG Hillary from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I actually met her at an event, but I want to talk about this as well. I think it's fascinating. Get you a little touch to my world. Because every job I get is cruel and demeaning. Sick of taking trash out and toilet bowl cleaning. That's CeeLo Green from Get Up, Get Out. So what's that? You know, remember, get up, get out, and get something. Don't let the days of your life pass by. You need to get up, get out, and get something. Don't spend all your time trying to get high. Okay, you know, that's Outkast. I love that song. Then, here's another quote. Another ATLian. OG ATLian. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not talking about that country grandma street sweeper either. Y'all be thinking wrong. This ain't no drill rap song. This is Dr. King, MC King. This ain't no drill rapper from Chicago or Brooklyn. So he ain't talking about that type of street sweeper, okay? See how it works? Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop, shimmy, shimmy, Rob. But I say that because people ask me, well, Brother Ron, he don't do that many shows, da-da-da-da. We miss you, da-da-da-da. Well, you know, Brother Ron got a, you know, if you don't work, you don't eat type of mentality. And it's tough out here for a lot of people. So I got a job of cleaning toilets, restrooms, mopping floors, vacuuming huge government buildings, mopping huge government buildings, cleaning big restrooms at government buildings. And I've been doing this since the beginning of the year, but I do it on and off because I'm blessed to have a connection to a black family owned cleaning business. So that's good to know that, you know, when I'm in a crunch, I could go punch a clock on my smart app, my smartphone app to start working. So I want to talk about this because I think people are kind of strange. I take a lot of pride in my work. You know, like, you know, Dick Gregory, I played that Dick Gregory snippet. He called me the feeder, but also I'm the cleaner. I'm the feeder and the cleaner. So that means that I could feed you stuff. And if you take a sugar honey iced tea, I can also clean the toilet so you can have a pleasant experience to take your sugar honey iced tea. So I'm the feeder and the cleaner. And I actually love my job. I know it's not a 6 or 7 figure job, but it's an honest job. It's a dirty job, but it's honest work. And whenever I can sleep, I can sleep knowing that I did not do any harm to any human being, especially those who look like me, that I tried to make sure they had a clean environment to do their work in and also to do number 1 and 2 in. I take pride in that. I love doing my work, just like I love researching and sharing information. I love cleaning toilets. I love mopping floors. I love vacuuming. Like, I start my work day at 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes for 4 hours, I either mop floors for 4 hours or I vacuum floors for 4 hours at a government facility downtown. And I love it. And I put my iPhone, I turn on my music, my podcast, I get into my zone. I never thought I'll be a morning person, but I love, I am probably a morning person. I can't believe I could go to work at 5, not wake up at 5 o'clock, but be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning for 4 hours. No matter if I got sleep or not, I'm able to be at work for 5 hours and actually have a smile on my face and interact with people that work in the building, have great conversations and stuff like that. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that as well. And I take pride in my work, man. I love making sure my floors are clean. I love the attention to detail. When I'm vacuuming, because I work with people that hate the vacuum. There's folks, these are women that hate vacuuming. I said, I don't want to come to your house to eat or to stay then if you don't like to be clean, and you're a woman. So I like the vacuuming because, you know, it forces you to pay attention to detail. Like, you know, I study the floors. Like I learn the floors like I wish I could learn women. Like I study the floors like I wish I should be able to study women. I said, wait a minute, that's a new mark or they don't belong there, da. Same thing with the mopping. Like I not only just mop the floor, I mop the stairwells, I go up and down. And it's like a good cardio workout. I get like 10,000 to 15,000 steps just doing that type of work every day. And I don't know, I take a lot of pride in it. It brings me joy. I mean, like I'd rather do that than be sitting in a cubicle with bad posture. Like I'm moving around and stuff like that. I'm getting exercise and also I'm getting paid for it. I wish somebody would pay me to clean my own apartment. I would love to clean my apartment if somebody paid me like that. But it's funny how that works. So, but you know, people be watching you. You never know who's watching you when you do what you do. And I do it with a lot of enthusiasm at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I do that for 4 hours and I take a break and I come back later in the afternoon, go to a satellite location and do about 3 hours worth of work, like mopping, vacuuming, sweeping, dusting, pan, taking out garbage. But there's nobody really there. Sometimes they come in and out because utilities place, right? So they be coming in and out. So you can't be scared. You can't be afraid of ghosts. You know, I like to hang out in the cemeteries. So it takes a lot to scare me if somebody just pop out of nowhere. You know, sometimes I think I be talking to some spirits or ghosts. I don't know if they real people or not. I'm assuming these are people that I'm interacting with, but it don't really. But I love my peace of mind. I love that job. I got to drive some ways to get out there, but it's worth it to me for peace of mind. I'm getting paid for it, and also I'm creating a clean environment for people to do their best work in. Like I'm being a part of the solution, not part of the problem. So I've been doing this since January, and like waking up early though actually happened in the middle of last month. I got this new shift around, I think it was February 16th. I started the new shift, so it's been cool, man. And like it teaches you in life that you should never be too proud to do things that's going to help you survive from moment to moment. They're going to keep you alive and keep you, you know, with a roof over your head and some of your bills paid and stuff like that. But I love doing this as well because people got this idea that people's making a lot of money. I'm not making no money off of this, man. YouTube, I only had 1 good year. I've been doing this podcast stuff for 16 years. I only had 1 year where I made some decent amount of money, and then the IRS trying to take all of that. That's another story. But it reveals a lot about who I am to myself that I could do this. And what's funny is that when I work on these gigs, I meet folks that listen to We All Be. Like I'll be vacuuming in somebody's cubicle space and people say, hey man, you know who that is? I say, who that? That's Brother Ron. That's We All Be, man. You know Brother Ron. Oh, that's Brother Ron? Yeah, I thought that was Brother Ron. Hey, Brother Ron. I said, yeah, you see how I'm doing. You see I'm a real person, right? You're like, I'm not living half the hog. I don't go on no vacation. I don't got all this glamorous lifestyle. I'm just like you all. So it's interesting because like it's funny because I go to work and I be on the clock and these folks trying to just ask me questions and we start talking about stuff. I'm trying to clean. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but you know I'm on somebody else's dime and I got to get this stuff vacuumed and stuff. But I appreciate the fact that y'all appreciate me and y'all willing to talk to me. I mean, it's interesting because like these people act like they mean a celebrity. I don't look at myself as a celebrity like that. I'm just a human being like you all, trying to make it to the next payday, make it to the next day, taking it moment by moment, being appreciative that God has allowed me to make it this far. I never thought I'd live this long, to be honest with you, and to be around, to do the things I'm doing. I know that my best is yet to come. But you know what's interesting about public restrooms that they don't tell you about? It's not that bad if you know how to clean. It's like, if you use the right type of cleaning materials, even somebody made a mess, it's not that bad. It's weird that I could clean a restroom with I scrub them toilets with the best of them. I'm not bothered by it. It's like it's very meditative for me, and it's funny because there are people that will actually go out their way. I'm talking about people that like security people who are responsible for like covering all these buildings across a wide area of the city and outside the city limits. They would actually go out their way to come to the facility where I work at nighttime just to use my toilets because they know that these toilets are gonna be really clean. They said, Ron, I just don't want you to know I just come out here. I love coming out here because you make sure the restrooms are right. And I said, I really appreciate that because the people that I'm cleaning for are majority Black people. You got white people, all types of people, and also I'm working for a Black company. I love the fact that I'm working to protect the brand and image of a Black company. And I'm mindful of that. And it brings me joy to do that. So I'm not against that at all. I just think that, I want to share that with people because people say, well, these same folks that probably listen to me, they probably never donated anything to me, but they love the fact that I gave them Dick Gregory. Like they're talking about, well, Ron, you did this show. Da, da, da. I said, they probably never gave me a donation, never bought a shirt or artwork, whatever. That's fine. Well, I want to let people know there's people out here. Everybody ain't trying to get you. If I said something that was not correct, it's not because I'm a disinfo agent. It's just because maybe I just didn't know. I made a mistake. I'm a human. But I think the majority of the stuff that I have offered over the years have been decent. And, people have been listening to me for years. But, I'm just like, whatever. This is a season in my life. This is a midlife opportunity, not a crisis. And I'm working on an exit strategy. But like I said, I don't have no problem scrubbing the toilet. I have no problem mopping no floors or vacuuming or taking out the garbage. I'm the cleanup man. Cleanup man. I'm a cleanup man. I'm the cleaner and the feeder. So I guess that's good for that. I think I said what I need to say. Yeah, but you meet some interesting characters in that bit. It's folks that would not wear gloves and they'll clean restrooms. They'll pick up all this stuff you talking about. They don't use no gloves. I don't want to never eat their food. I don't want to never ever shake their hands. I don't, and it's just like I know you meet all type of characters on the job, man. And really, that's inspiration for stories and movies and TV shows. Because I meet some interesting characters in these workplaces. Like I've been a supervisor several times for people. Some of these folks have criminal backgrounds, and some people have been in their life, been prostitutes, pimps, domestic violence, attempted murders. I had folks that trying to kill me because I told them to take out the garbage. And this is a true story. I have all types of interesting stories being a supervisor in the janitorial service business, but I enjoy it. And really, I just like working by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't I don't want to be a supervisor anymore. But it taught me how to deal with people, especially from these interesting backgrounds. I do believe in giving people second and third and fourth and fifth chance because everybody make mistakes. So you meet all types of people. Yeah, I mean all types of people. Like I said, like it's people in those, they be watching me. And like I don't feel like I'm inferior. I don't feel weird in that place. This is a job. It doesn't define me, right? I'm just doing my job. And also I feel like I'm being an asset to the community by making sure they have a clean place to work at. Like I even ran into a high school classmate that I used to have a crush on. And I don't mind vacuuming her cubicle. And I don't mind her friends, some good looking women that work in these facilities. But I'm just saying I keep it professional. I keep it classy. And I keep it clean. Because cleanliness is next to godliness. Good God. That you see, you read my mind. You must be reading my mind. That's how I feel every day. I do be planning my getaway. I'll be planning my great escape. Like this is just the first quarter of the new year. So I have some ideas and things planned for the next 3 quarters. Should be interesting. Thank you, Brother Jonathan. You crazy. I discovered something all right, but I flushed it down the toilet. But I want people to say it's okay to have a job so you can stay alive and stay, and get stuff, Don't be ashamed to work, man. Don't be ashamed to work, no matter what the job is. See, you had a question? Yeah, a lot of people feel like they want to get away, like they're not happy. I be seeing people at these jobs, they making money, they drive nice cars and stuff like that. Even good looking people, they not happy where they at. They not happy. A lot of them not happy. I be aware of that because all this mash. You know how people just go off the reservation. So I'm making my business to be nice to people or to be kind and be respectful toward people and to acknowledge people. I think that's very important because a lot of folks feel like they don't get respect or get recognition or get acknowledged. So I make sure I try to acknowledge people while on the job and make eye contact with people and be sincere about it. Like I'm a loud dude, so I love to laugh, and it be genuine laughter. I laugh all hearty. I know in their workspace, but I have come across people that when you acknowledge them, they won't say anything, and I'm cool with that. I don't take it personal. As I get older, I know that the battle is not yours. It's not my fight to fight. That we're fighting in the spiritual warfare mode. So I try to be who I am. I try to be authentic, regardless of the space or place, or who I'm mingling with or talking with. Okay, question, please. Donnie begging for the question. What's the question, Donnie? Let me see. You ain't make no donation, Donnie. I don't see you say, okay, question. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. I could not say it better than Baba Dick Gregory. What did Baba Dick Gregory say? What would he say about that? He would say, my truth does not need to be validated by your ignorance. And then you say, who cares? Huh? Who cares? Huh? And then you say, how's the family? Baba Dick Gregory is a starting point for a lot of you in this We All Be chat room. Baba Dick Gregory is a thought provocateur like me. It's not important that it's like, okay, thank you, Donnie, for this question. It's like with Chris Rock. You got people all in their feelings. That special was good. Chris Rock still's got it. To me, people will say, well, he messed up that his Will Smith, Jada Smith thing at the end. He messed up. No, you know what? He's human. To err is to be human. But it's the beauty that it still bothered him almost a year later, that he still gets angry and emotional about it. That shows he's a human being. And to me, that will make what he did with the Will and Jada Smith thing he did at the end of his special, Selective Outrage, so powerful. It's like on the same level as Tupac hit him up. Tupac ain't about, people are always trying to disrespect Tupac. Like you say, well, he's not lyrical. He's not the best technical rapper. Tupac is a storyteller and a poet. He got lyrics for days. It has nothing to do with see, a lot of y'all be stuck in this thing I call intellectual masturbation. I mean, yeah, you can have technique, but what's the point of having technique if you're not saying anything? To me, what Chris Rock did at the end of his special concerning the Smiths is on the same level of Tupac's hit him up, because it's not about flow. It's about emotion. It's about raw emotion. It's about, feelings. It's about connecting. It's like Charlie Parker's death day, his martyr day, his feast day is coming up. I think Charlie Parker died March 12th of 55, I believe. He was just 34 years old, but the coroner thought he was almost a 6-something years old man. Like he worn out his body by living hard and fast. And he died in the apartment at the Stanhope Hotel in New York of the Baroness, the Dutch, the Rothschild, that was the patron saint of jazz musicians. Like he died in her presence in her apartment. And then years later, the great Thelonious Monk died in her home in her mansion in New Jersey. Then you had what's a guy named Barry Harris, the great bebop pianist who just passed in his 90s. I was gonna go to New York to attend his his free jazz workshop. I think his name was Barry Harris. He used to live with the Baroness. She was a Rothschild, and he died in the mansion that she gave him, the same mansion where Thelonious Monk died in New Jersey back in the day. I think Thelonious Monk died in that mansion February 17th, 1982. And when Barry Harris died, when he died back on December 8th, 2021, at 92 years young. Now, he would have been 92 at December 15th of that year, but he was living in that mansion. She left that mansion to him. So you have 3 jazz greats connected to this Rothschild. Charlie Parker died in her Stanhope Hotel. Thelonious Monk died in her mansion. And recently, Barry Harris, the great bebop pianist, he died. And he was living in her mansion that she gifted him in her will, from my understanding. So Dick Gregory is a starting point for a lot of people. Now the so-called woke movement. And I'm grateful to be one of the people and platforms to bring Baba Dick Gregory to you all. Because I live in the Twilight Zone. I feel like Rodney Dangerfield, I don't get no respect. Because I go to places and people tell me, man, I love them Baba Dick Gregory interviews. And, Real Black, no disrespect to Real Black. I actually was at an art gallery here in Memphis over a week ago. I'm talking to this sister. She was talking about, I told her that, I do We All Be TV. And I was one of the first people to interview Dick Gregory, and she started, oh yeah, you did. And he started talking about. Then I had a Real Black T-shirt on. He gave me some years ago at the Baba Dick Gregory's homegoing services in Maryland. Shout out to Mike Dennis at Real Black. He's a great brother, doing great work, curator of the people's history as relates to film and culture, and one of Baba's chosen. But she said, oh yeah, Real Black. I listened to a lot of. I said, but I was the one that started this thing of interviewing Dick Gregory, because what really kicked it off was the Django review we did. When that went viral, cause I remember when I put it out there, I ain't thinking nothing of it. When I asked Baba Dick Gregory about his thoughts on Django, he called Spike Lee a name, and I just put it out there. I know next minute, the day after I put it out there, he calls me with Lil on the phone saying that, man, you know what we did? I said, what are you talking about? I said, man, I had Quentin Tarantino and Jamie Foxx call me and say, thank you. And I just want to say, thank you. Whatever you need, Lil, whatever he needs, let him on through. That was back in January of 2013, because I started getting calls around the country and emails about Dick Gregory. And people act like they wanted to talk to me, but they really want to talk to Dick Gregory, which is okay, because Dick Gregory was the star and is a star. He's a shining star, even in death, beyond the grave. But that started the Dick Gregory craze. And then Dick told me, Ron, I want you to share my contact information with the people. And I did that. I remember Lil sometimes would call me when he would say some stuff and it go viral. Said, did you share his phone number? You share all this? Because Lil is a very private person. She said, yeah. I said, I don't think. But he told me to do it. So my thing is, I don't like to hoard things per se. Like when I get information, I want to share it with the people. And so Dick told me to share his contact. And a lot of folks got that contact. And people made more money off of Dick Gregory than I ever did. And they got a lot of things I didn't get. But I know it is what it is. But Dick told me to do that. And I remember I saw him in Kansas City back in August of 2017. And we talked like a day later. He'll tell me how he was more famous now than he was in his prime. And that's saying a lot, because in his prime, there's only 3 networks. And Dick Gregory was definitely a household name, especially after appearing on Tonight Show, and also before they hooking up with the Playboy Club and being a comedian there with Hugh Hefner's blessing. And so he said, he feel like he was more popular now than he was then, because like of shows like of Minds and other people. But he said he just wanted to thank me for doing that for him. And because Dick Gregory believed in sharing information. Like, people say, well, why he didn't get killed early on? Like, I said, because like he told me and so many others, he said, well, somebody tell me a secret, I make it an unsecret. I tell everybody. So by the time they want to kill him, why kill me when the secret is already known by 1,000+ people and growing? You want to stay alive? Don't keep secrets. Like Ye, y'all don't understand. Y'all didn't get some retraining. Ye smart because he didn't say they. A lot of y'all say they, and then y'all say when people end up dead, they killed them. Who is they? Can't say, oh, they is so and so and so and so corporation. so-and-so individual, so-and-so and so-and-so. He an idiot. Now, Adidas begging him to come back. They begging, please, 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 please don't go. Yay, crazy like a fox, man. Y'all don't understand. Y'all, let me tell you something. I can't call a man. I'm not qualified to call any person crazy, especially somebody like Ye. I have never walked a day in his ugly Yeezys. I don't know what it is to be him on a daily basis. He's been privy and had access to situations and rooms that I never had in my life, that I can't even imagine existed. They have did a lot to destroy Ye. They have taken people away from him, like Virgil Abloh. That was his protege. But because they don't want no black people to have that type of power in the fashion industry, they do what they always do. It's called divide and conquer. They did it to Sam Cooke and Otis Redding, but the difference between Sam Cooke and Otis Redding and Ye has lived to tell about it because he named the names. You know, the mob came out to Sam Cooke. They tried to threaten Sam Cooke, and they even sent Sammy Davis Jr. Sam, baby, Shaboing, please, baby. Don't make you an offer you can't refuse, man. Shaboing, boing. Be like the Candyman, man. Keep your life. I gave up an eye. I gave up an eye, but I kept my life. I heard a story about how you really lost that eye. I know people that knew Sammy and worked with Sammy Davis Jr., and they told me the other story about how he actually lost that eye. So, but Ye, just like Otis, just like Sam, he stood his ground. And it's working out for him. He's because people say, well, you know, man, I'm gonna tell you something. Even if you remain quiet and keep your place and stay mind your business, they still come for you. Are you not a student of history? Do you not know about the people's grocery lynching? Do you not know about Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Elaine, Arkansas, Rosewood? There's so many others, sunken towns. Even when you mind your black business is their business. Because you play in their system. Like what people say, well, if you take their payout money, like Ben Crump, get this settlement for the death of your loved one, then you accept police brutality. Y'all accept police brutality because y'all play by your rules. We all play by their rules. If any of us are spending U.S. currency, that means you accept their rules, because all money is blood money. All currency is blood currency. Just like what Baba Dick Gregory used to say. He said, don't act like you innocent when they decide to drop the bomb on us, because your tax dollars, y'all too worried about Dr. Umar Johnson, what he doing with your Cash App donations and stuff and PayPals and GoFundMe, but your tax dollars have funded the government's campaign to terrorize the rest of the planet, including his own citizens. Like with Dr. King figure, he said the greatest purveyor of violence on the planet is my own government. Not just with the bombs and the military, but with the media, with social media, with the music industry, with the Hollywood industry, with the culture wars. Like, think about John Morant. What was he listening to when he was dangling that gun and looking silly? NBA Youngboy. That's what they say. NBA Youngboy, you could tell they got him on some mind control stuff like all them other musicians. But he said, I feel bad about creating music that promotes violence. He said that recently. He said, now I realize I've been used to promote or create music that promotes violence in people. Because music does affect your moves. And, you know, Kanye talked about this on Drink Champs. I'm surprised Nori didn't interrupt him for umpteen time. He talked about how the 808s and vibrations in the music and, you know, how it affects the moves and the chakras. And I don't, you know, what y'all call him crazy, but y'all crazy to think that just because you don't say nothing when they doing stuff to you, that means you're going to be okay. No, you never okay. There's no country for black folks. It's like I said, you know, you're not worried about Mexico, but you scared of Mississippi. You scared of Arkansas. You scared of Tennessee. You scared, but Malcolm said anything south of Canada is Mississippi. But okay, you open that question up, but you should give me a donation, Donnie, man, because I went all deep in that. That's why I try to, you know, y'all want to get all my thing. I'm cleaning toilet bowls for a reason, because I don't get the support like some other big names I won't name. I like they just say, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? And it is what it is. But now Bobby Dick, his legacy is secure. But anyway, moving along. Let me wrap this up. So it'll still be December 8th. Before I get to that one, let me I think I answered questions, but there's a lot to talk about, man. It's a lot to go down this rabbit hole. For real, for real. Like I said, I don't even trust the numbers when it comes to YouTube or whatever. Like I said, I'm working scrubbing toilets and vacuuming people's floors and mopping floors. They recognize that's Brother Ron. Really, y'all recognize me, huh? And it don't make me feel bad. I mean, like I said, I seen high school classmates. I vacuum up cubicle. I clean her carpet. I'm good. It's a job. I'm not robbing, killing, or stealing, or doing other nefarious things to my fellow human beings. But let me see. We all be in it to win it. Y'all got an interesting conversation going on chats, man. Glad to be able to create a platform for y'all to express yourself. Express yourself. Yeah, but let me do another one. Let me see. I'm trying to get y'all some content. I don't know if I'm gonna do a live anytime soon. I might do another live this weekend or maybe next week. But also I got some other stuff coming up. But I have some videos I'll be chopping up and editing, and maybe I might have some surprise interviews I've done that I'll put out there very soon. We'll see about that as well. But man, I just life, if you live long enough, expect anything can happen to you. And what you got to understand about life is it's not what happens to you that really matters. It's how you respond to what happens to you. Keep that in mind, because it's a lot of things I never thought I would be going through right now. And I'm surprised how well I've been handling everything. Like I'm like a quarterback in that pocket that's about to collapse. Like I could be like a Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, cool and calm under pressure. I'm really impressed myself. Thank you, Jonathan Hamilton. I appreciate that for that donation, for that drop in the bucket. Goes a long way in the gas as I drive out to my second job out there in the boonies. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. But I think I share why I share is to try to keep people out there encouraged, because there's a lot of people hurting out there. A lot of people are hurting in silence. That's why I make sure I do my best to try to be kind to people, to be encouraging, to be an encouraging and inspirational person that I am. It's sometimes I would like to cry. I can't cry for myself. Like when you find out what your purpose is, it's hard to feel sorry for yourself when you understand what your purpose is. Now, I'm not saying that I see the whole picture, the entire picture of what my purpose is, but I feel like, I'm working in my purpose. I really do feel that way. But that's why I've been given favor in a lot of ways on a lot of things that's really like, I know there's people out there wondering how he's able to get this and that, and I don't understand why him. And God got a funny sense of humor. God has a unique sense of humor. But let me thank y'all so much for the patience. Thank you to the moderators, to the listeners, to the donators, that's going to donate tonight and going to donate in the future. Donate is who donate? Okay, but anyway, let me see. Like I said, I got this second version of my Happy Life affirmation, Earth Strong salute to Sister Olivia. I'm gonna play for it tonight. Law Dog's finest, and we'll be back. It says, "We all be news free Dixie for the 21st century."
Happy 252 you live. Happy 252 live. Happy 25 Sister Olivia Shark. Because you're a shining star. No matter who you are. Happy 252 you. See how it works somewhere.
Okay, I hope Olivia's having a great. I guess it's Thursday now. Over there, it's still Wednesday, the 8th here. So I hope she's doing great. Shout out to you, Law Dog. Great job, by the way. But anyway, moving on to the final section of what I wanted to cover tonight. Who is this? Wait a minute. Whoa. All right, Donnie. I see you. Thank you so much, sir, for the donation. We love you madly. They'll go a long way as well, too. Yes, thank you for the donation. Thank you, Law Dog. I'm just looking at y'all comments, but yeah, I believe that. Of course, I was just enjoying her celebration of her coming into the world. That's a good. You're most definitely welcome. No problem. I gotta catch up in the chat after the show. Well, Luna, what you talking about? What's going on, Luna? What y'all doing over there? But anyway, let me see. Let's get this. I'm gonna get this in 2 hours, I guess. Okay, I talked about my job. It's International Women's Day still here in Central Time Zone. So Bessie Coleman, right? She's a truly righteous ancestor, right? Y'all hip to Bessie Coleman. Y'all hip to Bessie, ain't it? Auntie Bessie, amazing black woman. She was the first woman to get an international pilot's license. This is before Amelia Earhart. She had to go to France because America did not want to train black people, let alone black women, to become pilots. This is back in the 20s. Bessie Coleman is the first black and Cherokee woman to earn her pilot's license. 2 years before Amelia Earhart became a pilot, Coleman found a way to learn to fly even when flight schools in the U.S. couldn't accept her. Coleman learned French, moved to Paris, and enrolled in a prestigious aviation school. That's Bessie Coleman. And, I'm surprised nobody has made a movie on her life, because what's interesting about Bessie Coleman is that she actually did a historic flight here in Memphis back in the day. And she actually got killed during a flying exhibition down in Florida, I believe. Her mechanic got killed. I believe she fell out the plane to her death. But may her spirit live forever and ever and ever to inspire generations more. And she did that. And so I bring her up because I met another person that flies high in her own way. In that spirit of Bessie Coleman, she does her own thing, and somebody I used to have a crush on back in the day. Let's see if I can find this picture. Okay. That's me with Karen Parsons. If y'all fans of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, y'all know about the new Bel-Air, the reboot, the drama series. I haven't seen the second season yet. I look forward to binge watching it soon. But I was a fan of the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I can still remember when I was in 5th grade when it first came on the air back in 1990. And it was on about 6-7 seasons, and I instantly fell in love with Hillary Banks. played by Miss Karen Parsons. And this actually took this picture at one of her book talks. She was in Memphis on September 11th of 2022. And she wrote a book about Bessie Coleman. I don't know, I have it anywhere near me. Wait a minute, I'll be right back, or read back right black if I can find it. Yeah, she wrote this book about Bessie Coleman. Let me take this off the screen. It's a book called Flying Free. It's based on her animation series she does with her company, Sweet Blackberry Productions. Like, she does animations about Black historical figures. I think the first one she did was about Henry Box Brown, the slave who mailed himself to freedom to Philadelphia. He put himself in the box, Henry Box Brown. So she did a couple of these shows that I think came on HBO back in the day or some years ago. But this book is based on the animation show she did about Bessie Coleman, Flying Free, right? So I applaud her on her efforts to educate us about our righteous ancestors. So I met her at the book talk, and the book that she's holding actually is my book about Lieutenant James Reese Europe. You know, the guy I talked about, the band director of the Harlem Hellfighters jazz band who brought jazz to Europe. It's called James Reese Europe Jazz Lieutenant. It's on Amazon, but it needs to be updated. I wrote and illustrated and published that book back in 2005. So she was very excited to get a hold of my book about James Reese Europe. And I hope she do something about James Reese Europe, because he's getting his recognition finally. For the last several years, people recognizing his genius and contribution to American cultural history. And so she was very impressed, because I think that weekend was the first time she really started hearing about James Reese Europe. So her eyes got real big when she got my book and realized that I wrote and illustrated the book. And don't be surprised if she do a show with me in the near future. But I applied Karen Parsons for her Sweet Blackberry production company. You know, Will Smith put money into her organization. And I think Tatiana Ali is on her board, or she's on the advisory board, among some other people. Now, what I didn't know was that Miss Karen Parsons was biracial. Her mom is a black woman, beautiful black woman from Charleston, South Carolina. Her dad is a white man from Butte, Montana. I'm saying Butte. I think it's Butte, Montana, Butte, Butte, Montana. And I want to show this picture. I just learned about that today, that she was a product of a biracial relationship and marriage. And her father just passed away last month, early February. My condolences for her loss of her father. She's like, she was very close to her father. And a matter of fact, I believe she married white men who were similar like her father. I mean, she's married to a white man. She has biracial children. I believe she was married twice to white men. And that's, you know, I don't have no problem, love, you know, whatever you love, who you love who loves you. But I applaud her for the work she's doing to teach Black people about our heritage, about our rich Black history and our great achievers and stuff like that. So I'm gonna show a picture of her people. Like I said, I plan on having Miss Karen Parsons on the show. People been telling me you should interview so and so. Man, like I said, I've been cleaning toilet bowls and trying to pay my car note and rent, man, and light bill. If people say they want to see these things, support it. That's all I ask. But anyway, let me see. Y'all find a picture of her parents. I have a lot of tabs open and stuff. I'm trying to. I thought I had her parents tab. Let me see. I guess I didn't open it. Hold up, people. Hold up. Wait a minute. Ta da da da. Okay, I got a tab open now. I don't like people talking about, well, it's interesting. Like, you look at a lot of our greatest black people. Think about, the angry light skinned black folks that, they be all pro black and all that stuff. Man, but you need everybody. Why the light skinned folks the angriest? When they come for black folks, Malcolm X wasn't like Draymond Green's color, as Chris Rock was saying. He like Draymond Green, took his knuckles, checking the back of his ears. He like Steph Curry or Draymond Green. A lot of people got offensive. Chris Rock did his job, but that's her parents. That's her parents. Her dad's from Butte, Montana. Mama from Charleston, South Carolina. Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. Summertime. Anyway, she just lost her father last month. Let me see if I can find something about her parents, what she said about her parents. It's We All Be News Free Dicks for 21st century. I'm going to read a little bit of something there. I'm going to just shut it down. This is from Amo Mama website. Karen Parsons called her mom an Amazon woman inside her childhood in a biracial family. This is by Manuela Cardiga. This is from June 27, 2020. Actress Karen Parsons played rich, spoiled Hillary Banks in the 90s hit comedy series The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but her real home life was very different. Fans of the 90s hit comedy series The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air will remember Karen Parsons best as the willful, shallow, and thoroughly spoiled Hillary Banks, who always managed to get her way with her wealthy, doting parents. Parsons grew up only 8 miles away from glamorous Bel-Air, but her life couldn't have been more different from the fictional Hillary and her life of extravagant luxury. Parsons described her biracial family as a Woody Allen lookalike white father of Welsh origins. Like he was like British American, right? And a stunningly statuesque African American mother. Okay. Parsons grew up in a working class family, so her daddy wasn't rich, I guess. Moving from one small rental apartment to another in Santa Monica, Parsons revealed we were lower middle class, borderline. We weren't poor. I never went without food or anything like that. So her daddy wasn't rich, but her mom still was good looking. But there was a period where my mom needed food stamps. Okay. In order to provide for her daughter, Louise Parsons, who was a deputy sheriff, worked as a swimsuit model. There you go. She was good looking. Since her father was absent for most of her childhood. Okay. Parsons' formidable mother was her hero and her role model. Parsons said, my mother was this amazing Tamara Dobson, Cleopatra Jones looking 6 foot tall Amazon woman. So Karen Parsons is actually 5'7". So they're talking about them being an odd couple. Parsons described her biracial family as Woody Allen lookalike white father, Welsh origins, and a stunningly statuesque African-American mother. Parsons revealed, even growing up with a white father and a black mother, I didn't suffer a lot of feeling really, really uncomfortable about how different I was from others. I think they had a lot to do with the spirit of the time. Because she's from California. I wish they all could be California girls. I wish they all could be California girls. See, if I need to read some more of this stuff. Yeah, I think that's enough. You know, that's interesting, her background. But I never thought, I thought she was married to a brother or something. But she married to a white man. I think both of her husbands were white, but she been married to this white man for about 20 years this year, from my understanding. So I just wanted to share that. But she's definitely pro-black. So we had an interesting discussion at the Q&A about critical race theory. And I had my take on it, and she had her take. But like, my thing about critical race theory is that I have no problem talking about Black history as it relates to American history, but don't make me the victim. I'm like Chris Rock. I don't want to be a victim. We had some victories. We need to talk about the victories. You can talk about some victims and stuff. We had victims. We also had victors. Need to balance it out with a yin and yang. So I think I might put Miss Parsons. She was interested in coming on my platform. Like I said, she was very happy to receive a copy of my book, James Fish Europe Jazz Lieutenant. I hope she does something with it. I need to update it because a lot have changed since 2005 as it relates to James Fish Europe legacy being acknowledged better and better and getting more mainstream attention. I even had a Jewish guy approach me to try to secure me rights for the book. I don't know how this stuff works. He brought some copies of the book, and we'll see. That was like a couple years. I don't know, man. I see the Wi-Fi is acting tricky. Let me see. Is this working? Okay. My stuff been freezing up. That means it's time for me to get out of here. But I want to thank y'all for being patient, for hanging out with your brother Ron. Yeah, like some dude from some Jewish guy, I believe, from Hollywood, approached me about doing a movie about James Fish Europe. So he brought some of my books. I think he's trying to secure some movie rights. I haven't heard back from him, but I got some receipts, so we'll see what happens. But I would love for James Fish Europe story to get told in multiple ways. But I think Karen Parsons was definitely interested in trying to find a way to tell his story because she did a lot of, HBO. If y'all look at those HBO shorts, she did them animation shorts about Black historical figures like Henry Box Brown. She did the one about Bessie Coleman. She turned into a book. It's out there. So wish her much success. I think she said she wanted to be a librarian growing up. And she would have been a fine specimen of a librarian. Been a fine. You could tell she's a sapiophile. Because like when we were talking, her eyes was just glowing. And her eyes was lit. Oh man. But anyway, I think that's it for now. I think y'all got enough. Thank y'all so much for tuning out, to tune in, to get in where you fit in. Yeah. Let's see. Y'all got some interest stuff going on in this chat, man. Yes, grow your brain food. Brains. Y'all here. So what Luna saying? Said every Black person, every white person is not a slave or a slave owner. Interest, like I don't think about Karen Parsons because I didn't know she was mixed. And I didn't know Meghan Markle. I thought Meghan Markle was a white woman before she became a Black woman. I thought she was a white woman because, like, you look at Meghan Markle, her mom is Black and her dad is white, but she looks more white than she does anything else. And then Karen Parsons' dad is white, her mom is Black, but she looks Black. That's interesting how that works. But this thing is interesting. That's for another show. I ain't even try to answer that stuff. That's because slavery has been a part of every culture, of every human culture, every civilized human culture. All right, you always had a form of slavery or indentured servitude. But okay. But if you like the words from Brother Herb, please spread the word. YouTube, We All Be TV. That's We All Be TV. If you'd like to support the movement, please feel free to Cash App your support. $R2C2H2. That's $R2C2H2. You could PayPal Google Pay and Zelle support, r2c2h2@gmail.com. That's r2c2h2@gmail.com. Vimo your support at r2c2h2. That's Vimo at r2c2h2. Apple Cash your support, 901-299-4355. Apple Cash number, once again, 901-299-4355. You can be a member of this channel. I think I shouldn't start that membership drive during a Mercury retrograde. But thanks to Brother Dominique Griffith for holding on, man. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming. I am from Memphis, man. Sam and Dave Stacks. I'm coming. And all my Patreon supporters, don't worry. Brother Ron is going to deliver big. Mark my words. Let me get through this first quarter of this new year, because I know I owe people stuff. I owe y'all. I owe the IRS. I owe everybody. But anyway, I love that I can laugh about stuff that maybe I should be laughing about. I don't know. I gotta laugh. I gotta be me. I gotta be me. I got to be me. That's we all be. But anyway, also, I'm about to fall. Got my Nipsey on. Got my hustle shirt. You can go, if you're on YouTube, go below the description, access our official Teespring shelf that shows our latest and greatest designs, my art on shirts. That's R2C2H2's place. Get orders 16% off. Got a code on there. Get your merch. Get the merch 16% off the shirts, right? And the hoodies and all that. Also, you go to r2c2h2.com. That's r2c2h2.com and order artist art that you can hang. I don't think people that have been placing orders, y'all don't know how much good they do me. That people got demand for my art. And my thing is, man, it's frustrating being me. I ain't gonna lie, because I got all these ideas, I got all this art. I just don't got an army. People think that I got a staff. I don't have that. Thank God I got Dr. Mom, but really I'm on my own. I'm looking for some people to help me with this cause. It's a lot of things I want to do. And getting older, if you smart, you'll learn some lessons. Life teach you things. Wisdom don't always have to be hard earned, but sometimes it is. And if you can survive the lesson, hopefully you can get the wisdom out that said lesson. So I'm learning now. And anyway, let me read a disclaimer. And I'm gonna get out of here. I did my due diligence. Lord knows I did. Like some nights I want to go live. I be so tired, man, after working out at the job, getting 15,000 steps in. I was like, man, I want to go live for the people. I feel like I be cheating folks when I don't go live. And I don't show but it's like people just going live and just putting crap out. Not crap, but it's just weird that I don't feel like I had to speak on everything. And somebody did do a $5 donation about my thoughts about what happened with the train wreck at East Palestine, whatever they call that. That's happened. That's been happening. Our power grid is screwed up. They're not gonna tell you the truth about the ecosystem effects of what happened. They released all that poisonous stuff, whatever that vinyl chloride, whatever they call that stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like I'm in Memphis. In Memphis, I always tell me they got some of the world's best drinking water, but yet, y'all, Kellogg's cereal factories right next to old Army Depot, where there's been proven there's been leaked chemicals into the ground. So you got neighborhoods over there where people who've been long-term residents are dying from cancer. Young Dolph is from Castalia Heights. He's over there by his people from where that Army Depot is. His neighborhood is right by the old Army Depot and the Kellogg's processing plant. And he has several family members get claimed by cancer. One of the last things he did, his last week of living, was to visit the cancer center that treated his relatives for cancer. I met his aunt, who ended up dying from cancer, at his street naming ceremony back in December 2021. Like, she was over his nonprofit organization. But when we decided to honor young Dolph, this past year for the Jimmy Lunsford Legacy Awards, she was an ancestor. So she didn't die too long after Dolph. But Dolph lost several relatives, including his grandmother, I believe, to cancer. And I lost both of my grandparents to cancer living in Bunker Hill near Castelia Heights, near the old Army Depot, which is right next to the Kellogg's cereal processing plant. So you mean you making cornflakes and all this stuff near the vicinity of the old Army Depot where it's been proven that there's chemicals leaked in the ground that's been affecting people's health for generations. So this is a killing machine. Like Dr. King said, the greatest purveyor of violence on the planet is my own government. And guess who got rid of King and Malcolm? And like I said in the last show, The Godfather of Harlem, never expect Hollywood to tell your story, but know that the stories they tell are based on your true story. Like I said, with this Wakanda movie, I have yet to see it, but they have that a Latino Mariner, whatever he is, the Mexican Aquaman. I started thinking about it doing this live. Is that based on the urban legend, suppose, like according to Professor Horn, that Jack Johnson was going to link up with Pancho Villa to kick out the revolution? I would love to see a movie about Jack Johnson connected with Pancho Villa, like, you know, Malcolm was connected with Che Guevara, and like they said in The Godfather of Harlem, they try to stop Malcolm from connecting with Che Guevara at the United Nations. See, The Godfather of Harlem is flawed. I don't look at these movies for historical actualities, but they do. But like Picasso, keep in mind when you are dealing with art, it's like what Picasso said: art is a lie that make us realize truth. Art is a lie that make us realize truth. Art is a lie that make us realize truth. I did my Dr. Umar impersonation. Thank you, Gail Jones. A lie could not exist in reality if it didn't have some truth in it. So do your research. Somebody mentioned Zach Kondo. Zach Kondo is an excellent researcher. You know, he wrote books about the Malcolm X assassination that Ben Crump will be smart to utilize in his lawsuit, in his $100 million lawsuit about Malcolm. He should have somebody like Zach Kondo on his team. And the dude from Netflix, you know, his stuff is flawed to me because the guys who got exonerated, they still was involved in helping to create the climate that ended the life of brother Malcolm X. See, like, it's a lot. I remember when the Malcolm X movie came out, Denzel, Spike Lee, that was really flawed because they don't even talk about Farrakhan, and Farrakhan was one of Malcolm's proteges, but that movie was flawed. And what really bothered me was that Spike Lee created that Minister Baines character, you know, the guy that Malcolm supposedly met in prison that converted him to Islam. It wasn't no Minister Baines. His family got him on board with the Nation of Islam. It was a family affair, but it was a brother in the prison that inspired Malcolm to join the debate team. His story should have been told in the movie. And I can't think of his name right now, but I did a show about people around Malcolm X that played the influence on him in one of my lives a while back. But anyway, let me get off of here. I could be on here all the time talking about stuff, but I got to go mop floors. This mop floor day on Thursday. So I got to mop like 5 floors and do the stairwell. Man, maybe I am something wrong with me. Maybe I'm off for real. I just don't think I keep on thinking that I don't know if I'm living right now. I'm dead. Is this a simulation? I keep on thinking there's a glitch. I be seeing glitches everywhere. And I don't know people, I mean, I should Brother Ron. I'm not, and people be calling me. I ain't gonna be on no FaceTime anytime soon. I'm gonna take a break. I did my job. But wait, disclaimer: the views expressed by hosts and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group Incorporated. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. And before I go, I hope I'm live. I don't know if I'm De La Soul. I am so excited that I'm able to access De La Soul on my streamer of choice. But you know what's interesting? The lose Trudeau, the brother that we just lost from De La Soul. One of my favorite De La Soul songs of all time is "It's So Easy." That beat is so amazing. The beat and the lyrics, he just go off on that thing. That thing is amazing. Amazing. It's so easy. It came out on the Stakes is High album. But you know how old he was when he died? He was 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. Y'all know what 9 means in numerology. You know, De La Soul was dealing with the fact that you couldn't access their stuff on streaming services because they was trying to get their masters or publishing or whatever back. They got it back, and as soon as they got it back, one of their key members died at 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9 is the number of completion. It represents the ending and the beginning of something. But okay. So this is one to put that in mind. Thank y'all. In the words of Duke Ellington, we love you madly. Words of Brother Ron, keep on producing and pushing. See you on the next live, because we all be in it to win it. I will have a call in if y'all support the show. If y'all give donations, and I'll put a call in, because if I have a call in, that means I got to stay on for hours and hours. Because y'all like to talk. I like to talk. Like I said, I'll be at working. For Brother Ron, it'd be like 30-minute content. I mean, I got to go. You got a salary job. You got benefits. I'm working hand-to-mouth existence. But I'm going to tell y'all, somebody asked me, how much would it cost to get like a decent Wi-Fi, like a strong Wi-Fi? What we do? It's about $75 a month. I can get people to donate, $75 a month, or people actually give. Who they say, well, Brother Ron, I want you to look into this for me, but donate something. Sponsor a story. There's a lot I could talk about. There's a lot going on. Memphis, we don't have real black media like we should, because it's like the stuff I'm talking about on here. It's just one person thinking about it. Like I said, that story about that brother out in North Carolina, it should have been a lot of different platforms covering Bernie. What's his name? Bernie Dale Harris. That's the guy. The real Omar. The real Snow. The guy that actually was robbing the cartel. The real Breaking Bad. That's almost 2 years old. It's a lot of stuff I want to talk about that I know is going on in Arkansas right now. That's going on in Mississippi right now. But, I'm only one person. So if people want to, support the movement, I show y'all the ways I can support it and surprise me. Let me get the resources I need to do right by the people, and I'll do it. Thank you so much. Thank y'all, moderators, donators, and all the listeners and participants. They gotta show me the money. That's what I'm saying. I'll show y'all whatever y'all want. I'll give you what you want. So, y'all demand it, but support it, and I'll supply it. How about that? Thank y'all. We love you, man. One love.